Quick disclaimer, this video is commentary and opinion based on public information. It's not meant to harass or defame anyone. Always do your own research and form your own conclusions and opinions. Let's talk about this post, because on its own, it sounds empowering, it sounds reflective, it sounds like growth. But when you zoom out, when you place it back into the actual timeline, the actual behavior, and the actual consequences, it lands very differently. So today, we're going to talk about this quote posted by Stephanie Jenkins from the Resilient Jenkins, and why it's rubbing people the wrong way, and why so many are saying this feels less like accountability and more like deflection.
I'm sure this is rage bait, but coming from Stephanie herself. Hey besties, let me tell you something. You weren't doing anything wrong by doing what you felt was right until you learned it was wrong. But now that you know, choose better. Coming from Stephanie Thompson herself. Do better. Coming from the woman who's still in the motel room with all them kids. Coming from the woman who admits to gardening in the small room with all the kids. The same woman whose baby dad said that they're spending $40 every few days while in the motel room with all them kids. Coming from the same woman who said that she didn't have room for toys for the kids, yet is getting stuff from TikTok Shop every week, is buying stuff for herself from TikTok Shop every week. The same woman who said she's not using baby wipes anymore, she's wringing out the shit and piss rags into her bathtub and then doing all her laundry in it. Are you saying that you have finally realized that all of this was wrong, Stephanie? Or is this in regard to the Cursed Eye video? Is this in regard to everyone who donated to the GoFundMe? Are you throwing shade at that? I don't know. I don't know what she's trying to do. Is this just rage bait? Let's read the comments. Because honestly, the comments are the best part. Someone says, are the besties in the room with us? Are you saying you wish you chose a different partner? What are you saying? What are you saying? And then someone said, I feel like she's referring to the people who donated to Dez's GoFundMe. Possible. Maybe a little self-reflection. Yeah. Someone says, constructive criticism starts at home. Someone said, you can still delete this. Someone said, who are you to tell us to do better when you can't even do better for your kids? Yup. I'm glad the comments are all on the same page. Stephanie, some self-reflection would be really nice. This just, I don't know what you're trying to do here. That it's just not the move. Again. Stephanie just...
Now listen, in a vacuum, this quote is fine. It's a common sentiment in growth spaces. You didn't know better, now you do, so do better. That message works when someone actually acknowledges what they did wrong, explains what they learned, and demonstrates change. That's the part people are stuck on, because this post skips straight to the motivational poster phase without ever addressing the harm that led people here in the first place. The problem with "you didn't know," here's where things start to feel uncomfortable. This message leans heavily on the idea of ignorance. I didn't know it was wrong, but there are some things in life that don't require education to understand. You don't need a viral backlash, CPS involvement, public outrage, or internet commentary to know that certain behaviors are reckless, unsafe, or inappropriate, especially when children are involved. So when people hear, I didn't know, what they actually hear is, I didn't think the rules applied to me. Accountability versus authentic accountability. Real accountability sounds like this. I was wrong. Here's exactly what I did. Here's who it impacted. Here's what I'm doing to make sure it never happens again. This post doesn't do that. Instead, it offers authentic accountability, vague wisdom, inspirational language, and a soft rebrand of responsibility. It shifts the focus away from specific actions, specific outcomes, specific accountability, and reframes the situation as a learning moment instead of a serious failure with real-world consequences. Why choose better falls flat. Here's the issue with ending on choose better. Who is that message for? Because to a lot of people, it doesn't sound like I'm choosing better. It sounds like you're judging me unfairly. It suitably places responsibility back on the audience, as if criticism itself is a problem, not the behavior that caused it. And when children are involved, people are not going to accept vague growth quotes as a substitute for real change. The timing matters. Timing is everything. Posting inspirational content before transparency, accountability, behavioral change comes across as premature at best and manipulative at worst. To many viewers, this feels like trying to regain control of the narrative, trying to soften public perception, trying to move on without actually addressing what happened, and people notice that. Why people are reacting so strongly. This isn't about haters. This is about trust. When someone brands themselves as resilient, authentic, family-focused, growth-driven, there's a higher standard. You don't get to skip the hard conversations and jump straight to the inspirational quote phase, especially when your platform was built on relatability and honesty. The bigger issue. This post highlights a bigger problem we see online all the time. Healing language being used to avoid accountability. Self-growth phrases are meant to accompany action, not replace it. And when they're used too soon, they feel hollow. Growth isn't a quote. Healing isn't a caption. Accountability isn't a vibe. If this post were followed by clear ownership or genuine remorse, demonstrated change, it would land very differently. But without that, it feels like a rebrand instead of responsibility. If people can tell the difference. Let me know what you think in the comments. Does this post feel like growth to you or like deflection? And as always, keep the conversation respectful. This is about actions, accountability,